more detail on what that kind of go-to market strategy or sales strategy now looks like, especially as you mentioned, you're playing catch up. So is it sending emails? Is it making phone calls? Is it doing both? Is it reactivating your network? Just at a high level to begin with, like what does the typical playbook look like for your team right now to build a pipeline and generate new opportunities in sales?
That's a great question, Michael, and the answer is all of the above. So it is taking advantage of our current clients and doing proactive outreach to them. Not only just to sell something. I don't follow the philosophy of every call has to produce a sale.
Right.
It's about building relationships and really entrenching us as the go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing frustrates me more when I hear a client has used a service from a competitor that we provide. It
Right.
just so I want to be the only company that they call. So entrenching ourselves there, looking at previous engagements, the type of work we've done with clients, and then trying to sell them something more along that line. So if they've done unconscious bias training, what about doing training on managing bias in the hiring process?
Mm,
And looking for those connected opportunities as
right.
opposed to randomly saying, "Hey, have you thought about this?"
Right.
It's about
Sorry, sorry to interrupt, Michael, but is that done through initially an email outreach and saying, hey, want to share with you some ideas or some additional trainer? How are you positioning that? Because I think a lot of people are in a situation where, yeah, they have existing or past clients, and those clients may not actually know about everything that they can offer. So I'd love a little bit more detail on the positioning of those offers.
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes out in a number of fashions. Email is part of it, but understanding that for every email I send, the person's receiving 1,000 others, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the most effective means of communications.
Mm-hmm.
Email's part of it. We have a monthly newsletter, has several thousand people on it, so making sure we're pushing it out through that. It's also just picking up the phone. We have a sales team of 5 people,
Right.
and they all have a cohort of clients that they're responsible for. And we're in the process of hiring a few net new sales roles
Mm-hmm.
that will be more on the hunter versus gatherer type approach.
Right.
And so they're just picking up the phone, they're booking meetings, talking about the client's needs. It's time, which is really hard for an independent consultant, but we have the advantage of having a larger team. It's also social media. It's a big, big part of what we do,
Okay.
is being out there and positioning ourselves as thought leaders. And that's not just through social media, it's also through creating thought leadership pieces. It's through putting on our own webinars that are just informational and available to anybody. But they have a sales angle to them, right?
Right.
Unlike the charity, which is just about education, ours is about selling a service. So if we do a webinar on data collection, leading practices in data collection, we're going to talk about our service in data collection.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those pieces of the puzzle are really important.
Right.
I mean, ideally, you're going to have a person whose sole job it is to just go and have those conversations and build that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certainly a worthwhile investment.
Yeah. I mean, so you're now getting close